Hello, I'm Dr. Harper. This video is in BANA 6650, Project Management, the Syllabus, Policies and Procedures. So let's bring up the syllabus. Okay, the policies and procedures for project management. The policies and procedures in this syllabus will be followed in the course and applies to every student. In taking this course, each student is responsible to know and adhere to the policies and procedures in the syllabus. So first, let's start with an overall course design. The course contains reading material, online resources, homework assignments, exam, and a project. The course requires deliverables in the form of homework, exam, and a project. Each type of deliverable has specific learning objectives. Homework is designed for learning, exam is designed for evaluation, and the project is designed for each student to conduct research on a topic related to the course. Project deliverables are an individual composed report on the details of research findings. The course contains multiple resources to be utilized at each student's discretion based on learning styles, learning objectives, availability, and needs. Video resources will be available for learning the material, and most of these will be on Canvas. Videos will include presentation of material and application of material. As you'll see when you go through, I'll talk about the lectures, I'll talk about the material, and then I'll talk about how to work the problems. There's the application of the material. The course grade is based solely on students' performance in the grade measures of homework assignments and exam and project. Grades are not negotiated, no curves, no extra credit. In calculated course grades, normal rounding conventions are used, and these are the rounding conventions. Follow the common rounding conventions for calculations in this course, especially related to grades, assignments, and exam. Never round during calculations, only round presentations. And let me just stop and say that again. Every semester, this is a mistake that some students make. And sometimes they overlook it. It's easy to miss it, but never round when you calculate. Use the full number, all significant figures in the calculations. Get used to doing that now, and also do that in business. In other words, don't be rounding and use rounded numbers for calculations. That doesn't work very well. Sometimes it really hurts you. But you can use rounded numbers in presentations or communications, and that's perfectly fine. But never use a rounded number in a calculation. If rounding to the unit digit, then 1.5 is rounded to 2 and 1.4 is rounded to 1. Each student is required to submit deliverables when due. No late assignments are accepted. No work is accepted after the end of the course. And those two policies are very strict, and no exceptions, so be very careful. Course objectives. There are two course objectives for project management. One is to gain knowledge and skills in applying project management tools and techniques within projects. So one is say, here's how you conduct a project, or here is how a project is conducted. One, you're doing it, the other is you're managing it, this type of thing. The second is analyze organizational structure and coordination for effective project management. And there's where the business comes in, business school, and business analytics comes in. We will look at the business organizational structure on how for a project management of the project to be done efficiently. The material, the website is required, and also mdharper.com. The syllabus instructional material links to the required books. Canvas, and there's where you will download the homework and upload the homework, which we'll talk about in a minute. Effective project management, traditional, and there's the textbook, and we'll use this. Now, Wysocki, this textbook, Wysocki, is very good. It's the 8th edition. It's very practical. It is not that theoretical, but it's very practical. It's very business-like. And so he obviously has done this in business. And so it is, to me, I like this textbook and I like his approaches. He goes into a depth, and I will be a little bit more specific when I go through. and I will go deeper in some areas, and he goes deeper in other areas. That I'll go deeper in some areas than him, deeper than he does. He'll go deeper than some areas more than I do. Okay. But together, you get a really good view of project management within business. Communications are important in this course. Communications consist of one-way and two-way channels for different purposes. One-way communication channels will include lectures, Word files, Excel files, and videos I provide in Canvas during the course. Two-way communication channels include asynchronous question and answer threaded between students, threaded discussions, asynchronous Canvas messaging with me, synchronous virtual Zoom office hours with me, and synchronous in-person office hours with me on campus. Office hours will be posted in Canvas, and the reason I post them in Canvas and not in the syllabus is because from time to time they can change. Sometimes I'm on travel, sometimes I'm in a meeting, and sometimes I can't do it. And I will make announcements in Canvas to the class, and so make sure you view that to see any changes in policies that I've posted in Canvas. Most importantly, each student is responsible to appropriately utilize all the resources available in this course for learning and use the two-way communication channels to support learning resources. Now, what I mean by that is that you have a lot of resources to read, to look at, to work with. The two-way should support that learning. In other words, learn how to learn from your resources. And don't just let's work on two-way channels like conversations to learn. That's important, but it's not the only way to learn. Okay, communication between students will be through Q&A link in Canvas for each topic. Use the Q&A on Canvas for asking specific questions about course, which includes sharing answers, which is fine with me, about the course material, sharing information about the course, that's good, or other collaborations helpful for learning. Although collaboration is encouraged throughout this course to learn the material, each student is required to submit original work. No collaboration is allowed on the exam. Communications with me will be primarily through Canvas messaging between Monday and Saturday of each week, and I will visit it periodically. Use Canvas messaging for personal communications about the course in general. Only use Canvas messaging to invite me to address issues within the course or questions about the course material, not resolved in the Q&A between students. Okay, now what I'm saying here is this. The Canvas messaging is asking questions about the course, that's fine. But questions about the material, start with your fellow students. Start there. Usually they can answer it. 90% of the time they will answer it because they got the answer. And sometimes you'll say you can never arrive to an answer through Q&A between students. And so that's where you can come to me and invite me. And I will not always be there, but you invite me, then I'll come and answer them. I will not answer questions about the course material in Canvas messaging because Canvas messaging is a two-way communications about the course, not about the material. You start with a Q&A. And if that's not resolved, then I will go to Q&A. For example, if a question about the course material is posted in Canvas messaging or an alert to a need in the Q&A, I will copy the question and respond to the question in the Q&A for all the students to benefit from my answer. Okay, so I'm teaching the class as a whole. If I have individual questions, I will let the class hear the whole thing. It's the same as someone asking a question in class. I answer it in class, everyone hears it. Do not rely on email as primary communications in this course. Since email has been unreliable in the past, use email only when necessary. I want to emphasize this because so many students rely on email so much that it's not reliable in this environment. The reason it's not reliable is sometimes I don't get it. In other words, there's more than one Michael Harper here. I went to the OIT, information technology, and I guess there's three or four different addresses for Mike Harper, Michael Harper, Mike.D, Michael. There's four. Which one's mine? I think this is yours, but this one's someone else's. And so if you have one little thing wrong, or even the OIT can do it to where my email may be sent to someone in Anschutz whose name is Michael Harper. I don't never get it. And it's happened with students often. It's happened with faculty. It's happened with administration trying to get a hold of me, and I don't get it. So essentially, just use Canvas messaging. That's reliable. Email is not reliable. Okay, but should communication using email is deemed necessary? Sometimes it is. Use that email address, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is right now, and include BANA 6650 and your section in the subject area. Otherwise, I may not receive the email. Collaboration is a responsibility of each student. Lack of collaboration does not eliminate a student's responsibility to submit assignments when due. If a tutor is used, and some people do use tutors from time to time, which is the responsibility of the student, be careful to use the tutor appropriately. What I mean by that is use the tutor to help you learn the material. Don't use a tutor to do your work for you. Homework assignments. Homework assignments will be assigned and graded. Homework assignments will be available on Canvas and submitted through Canvas. Answers to assignments will be posted on Canvas after the due date. Since the questions will be available on Canvas and the answers will be submitted through Canvas for the homework assignments, carefully follow this procedure for the homework assignments. And I want to emphasize this because here's where students make mistakes. 1. Download the questions from Canvas, which will be in a Word file. Let me stop right there. First, download the questions in Canvas, which is a Word file. Don't go to the submission link and open that without the questions. There's no questions in the submission link. You're just submitting answers. So be careful you don't do that. So download the questions. 2, obtain all your answers for the questions. Obtain all your answers. 3, only when all the answers are ready to submit all the answers through Canvas at one time by the due date and time. So you download them, you get the answers, and then you open the submission link and submit them. Each student is responsible to submit answers through Canvas correctly, completely, and on time. Answers may be submitted only once. Assignments submitted will be accepted as an entire assignment and graded as an entire assignment. In other words, you can't submit it piecemeal. Once you begin submission, here we go. Once you begin submission, like you open the link, boom, you've started. You have only 60 minutes to submit all the answers to an assignment, only if all the answers are submitted on or before the due date and time for the assignment. The due date and time are strictly enforced by Canvas. Canvas will not allow submission after the due date and time, even during the 60-minute window. In other words, you have 60 minutes, but it's due 11:59 p.m. on Saturday night. So what do? If you open 11:58, you don't have 60 minutes, you have 1 minute, because that 11:59 p.m. is a deadline, regardless of the 60 minutes. So make sure you give yourself enough time to submit it early and when due. No late assignments accepted. The entire assignment must be submitted on or before the due date and time indicated. No late assignments are accepted. Assignments not submitted have a grade of 0. The answers to the assignments will be posted online after the due date. No partial credit. Again, no late assignments are accepted. This policy is strictly enforced, no exceptions. All assignments are to be submitted through Canvas. However, in the event submission of an assignment through Canvas is not possible, it does happen, I will accept an assignment submitted by other means. For example, email, or Canvas messaging if the submission of the assignment has a justifiable digital date and timestamp by the due date and time. And so what this means is I will accept it if it's on time. If I see an email and I look at it, it's not on time, I won't accept it. It has to be on time. Okay, follow the common conventions for rounding conventions for calculations in the course, especially related to grades, assignments, and an exam. I stated again, if x is to be rounded to the unit digit, then if x is between 1.5 inclusive and 2.5, round to 2. Never round during calculations, only round presentations. After the due date and time, the answer will be posted on Canvas. Resolve any grading errors on assignments as soon as possible, because sometimes there's errors, sometimes there's problems. If there's a problem, bring it up to me and I'll correct it. No corrections to graded material will be made after the end of the course. Okay, exam. The exams will be given in the course will be designed for evaluation. And as I mentioned before, I think in the other video, evaluation. Homework is designed for learning. The exam is designed for evaluation. I'm evaluating what you know. I don't want to test you to challenge you on what you don't know. So I'll be very careful to say, you should know this. So I'm asking you things you should know. To try to emphasize that, an exam study guide will be available to prepare for the exam. I'll tell you what to study. I'll tell the areas to come prepared for this exam. Exam will be multiple choice, open book, open notes, and timed. Each student is responsible to use only notes and material from the course. And you don't get things from other places, only from the course. Each student is responsible to use only a calculator, no other equipment such as communication devices. In other words, you can't communicate with people, use a calculator, but don't communicate with people so they can say, what's the answer, kind of thing. No sharing of material equipment is allowed on the exam. Each student must take their own exam. No collaboration is allowed. Collaboration is cheating. Cheating is academic dishonesty. If academic dishonesty occurs on an exam, the student will receive a 0 for the exam. Any incident of academic dishonesty may be reported to the business school or the University of Colorado Denver for further action. Further action as included in the past, zeros, suspension, and expulsion if it's repeated. The exam may be taken only once. No exam will result in a 0 for the exam, and no exam will be considered after the end of the course. Individual project report. Each student is required to conduct independent research on a topic based on the material related to the course. The individual report will be submitted as a PDF. Guidelines for the project topic are 1. A topic related to the course. A topic beyond the course. A topic related to the course. I don't want a topic in marketing or in finance, something in this course in project management. 2, a topic beyond the course that was not specifically covered in the course, such as going deeper than the level of rigor in the course or going broader than the techniques in the course. Project management is a huge area. Do something different than what I do. In other words, don't take my lecture and tell it back to me. That's not a project, and I probably would not accept that. 3, another possibility is an appropriate case study of the material in the course. People have done that, which I think is great. And so you've applied it, or you've been in a project, you review a project, you research a project that has been done. People have done that, and it's been great reports. Also, a topic may be selected from a list provided on the website mdharper.com. However, each student must have a different project. In mdharper.com, down at the bottom, I'll have a possible project, a list of possible projects that you can pick from, and resources. The originally composed individual report shall demonstrate the student's knowledge of the research and an ability to effectively communicate the knowledge appropriate to a business professional. Now, what I mean by the business professional is don't try to make it a literary document or a novel or something. No, this is business. And business down here, the 3 words in business is succinct but adequate. In other words, don't go on and on. Don't try to be flowery words and everything. In business, you're very succinct and direct. Each individual report must be unique. Only 1 report per person, and you write it yourself. No one writes it for you. Each individual report must be professionally composed with an introduction, main body, conclusion, and reference. It's a report. Although no literary structure is required, a suggested length of the report is more than 2 pages, including graphs and tables. However, the length of the report should follow the guidelines of succinct but adequate. The length must be enough to adequately present your work, but length can be considered negative if too long and content is not significant, therefore be succinct. Submit the completed individual report only through Canvas as a PDF file on or before the due date and time. Each report may be only submitted once, may only be submitted as a complete report, and must be submitted by the due date and time. 1 PDF file. A report not submitted has a grade of 0. No late reports are accepted because nothing is accepted after the end of the course. Each student is required to submit original material for their individual report. Now, that doesn't mean you can't quote someone or you can't pull in a graph that you found online, but the actual written material that you claim to be yours has to be yours. Don't plagiarize. Although collaboration is encouraged to conduct research, but you can use each other to learn. But you're right, collaboration does not include copying from another student or allowing a student to copy from you on individual work that's submitted. When you write it, you write your own report. Submit your report through Canvas as a PDF file. Do not use a cover page, but use the titles below on the first page where the student supplies the information entitled in italics. In other words, you have your own title here, and then you put this line and this line and this line, and then your name, date, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 6 lines at the very top, and then start your report. That's all you need to do, and that's the format. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, general policies. Again, strict policy. No late assignments are accepted. Nothing will be considered after the end of the course. That's very strict. Submission. Submit homework assignments and the individual project reports through Canvas on or before the due date and time. All assignments are submitted through Canvas. Only under special circumstances, assignments submitted by other channels of communication, such as email or Canvas messaging, which I mentioned before, will be accepted if accompanied by a justifiable date time stamp. Each assignment not received when due has a grade of 0. And I've already said this, and I say it again, grades on the assignments will be posted online. Course grades will be posted to the registrar. I've already said this, I repeat it. Academic dishonesty, I said this, I've repeated it. Conduct. So this is just like summary. Conduct. Strict adherence to the code of conduct as stated in the catalog of UCD is expected, and this link goes to the code of conduct. And this code of conduct applies to students, faculty, guests, staff, anybody and everybody. And so make sure you're aware of how to conduct yourself in the university. University information procedures, policies that govern university environment can be found through human resources. Okay, this is in the university. This is human resources interaction between students and the faculty and everything. So this is human resource policies. Again, make sure you're aware of those policies. FERPA, and here's the link to FERPA, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. I will follow FERPA. It's required by law. I will do it. And FERPA just means you have privacy with your material. I will not divulge your material unless they have a need to know. They've established a need to know. For example, I'll send it to the registrar. They'll say your grade. But I won't release your grade to anybody because they don't have a right to know. Unless they have a right to know and they have to prove that to me, only then do I release that information about you. And I won't even tell people you're in my course unless they have a need to know and a right to know. Any current or potential indications of violations of verbal or physical disruption or intimidation can be reported to the Campus Assessment Response and Evaluation Team. That's the CARE team. So this CARE team, notice what it says. It's assessing what's happening. It doesn't come in. It's not a police or anything. It's not policing anything. It's assessing. It's responding. It's evaluating. It's helping. It's supporting. If an individual needs help, if a group of people need help, and it's moving kind of in a dangerous situation or a questionable situation, questionable direction, they will come and assess it. They'll respond to it. They'll evaluate it, and they'll support and they'll help. Sometimes people just need direction. That's all. Any incident of violent or disruptive behavior can be reported to the Internal Affairs Committee of the Business School at the UCD. Conduct also includes, and by the way, let me just say this, and I will report it. No incident of violent or disruptive behavior, I will report it. And I have. Conduct also includes etiquette that is respectful to all people, facilities, and the institution. And I want to emphasize the word respectful. Respect why we're here. Respect each other. Respect the institution. Respect me. I respect you as a student. I have the utmost respect for you as a student. You're here to learn. That's the most noble thing a person can do is learn. I respect you. I expect everyone to respect each other, the facilities, the institution, because that's why we're here. Commitment expectation. Taking this course represents your commitment to perform the work when due. Faculty policies have stated that classes in the business school should require the students a workload in and out of class that enhances quality education and is consistent with the amount of academic credit granted for the course. This course requires work due on a regular basis, and notice it's as you go through, it's done on your own with the classmates, online, so it's done everywhere. So course requirements requires work due on a regular basis from multiple sources. No incomplete grades are given. Finally, the policy, my last policy. Policies in this syllabus apply to each student equally. And what I mean by that, to let you to know exactly what I mean by that, to let you know what I mean by that, is that I will apply this to every student, and each student equally. Sometimes the students say, well, could you do this? It says, no, that's going to violate the syllabus. I'm not going to do that. Yes, but here's a reason why I want you to violate the syllabus. I'm not going to do it. No exceptions, okay? That's one reason. But also for everyone else who do not ask me to violate, they know that I don't do it for anyone else. I will consider special circumstances. I've already said that. But special circumstances, for example, if Canvas goes down, you can email it, okay? So that doesn't lower the standards. The standards will not be compromised, and all work must be completed during the course and submitted on time. Any action taken by me that might be taken as varying from these policies shall not be caused to eliminate or alter a student's responsibility to adhere to all the requirements of the course or to prevent my action in enforcing the policies in the course to every student. In other words, in the past, people says, oh, that person submitted through email because he couldn't get on Canvas or something. And I got on time, so I accepted it. So now we can send it to email anytime we want. No, that's not true. So people have tried to do things like that, and I just want to bring it up. I've been here long enough. I've seen a lot of different things, and that's why I mention them. I really don't expect anything negative in this course. I really don't expect anything negative, but this is just to be safe, so everyone knows the policies and you can be comfortable so that we can learn together. Well, that's the policies and procedures in the syllabus. I hope that helps. And refer to it often. Between now and the next time I see you, I want to encourage everyone to take care.